The Trend KWJ 700 kitchen worktop jig. Cut and join both parts of a worktop in less than 15 minutes with this versatile tool. It's made from a lightweight, hard-wearing laminate, perfect for use on site or in the workshop. It's suitable for routing left-hand and right-hand corner joints at 90 or 45 degrees, as well as curved peninsulas, corner radiuses, end cuts, kitchen door holes, and 3/4 inch BSP holes for mixer taps. The jig also enables you to route perfectly aligned recesses for dog bone style connectors which pull the joints together. The Trend KWJ 700 works with all standard kitchen worktop sizes up to 700 mm with or without post-formed edges. To set up the jig, first decide which joint is required. In this case, it's a 90-degree right-hand joint. Engraved markings on the jig make it clear which joint you need. This also corresponds with a detailed illustrated instruction manual. To cut the female side, lay the worktop face up on the workbench with the post-formed edge facing upwards towards you. Identify the F90 holes and insert the pins, as this defines a 90-degree female cut. Ensure that the pins always go below the surface. For a 45-degree joint, the F45 holes would be used. This worktop is 600 mm deep, and so pins are inserted into the holes labelled 600. Position the jig so that the pins push against the worktop, and then clamp the jig in place. Bar clamps are available from Trend. The router should be used with a 30 mm guide bush and a 12.5 mm straight cutter. Kitchen router cutter sets are also available from Trend. When routing, start from the left side and take several passes to achieve a clean cut. The rotating turret stop on the Trend T10 router can be used to speed up this process. To route perfectly positioned panel connector recesses, flip the worktop around with the post-formed edge facing towards you. Place 3 pins in the holes marked B and secure the jig with clamps. The depth of the recesses should be deep enough for the panel connector to sit centrally within the thickness of the worktop. To cut the male side of the joint, the steps are similar. This time position the worktop face down and insert pins into the holes labelled M90. 45-degree joints would use the M45 holes. Then clamp the jig and make the cut. For walls which are not perfectly square, overlay the worktop in the correct final position on top of the female piece. The Trend offset scriber can be used to scribe a perfect guide to align the jig. For the bolt recess cuts, keep the worktop facing down, flip the jig and use the pinholes labelled B. Additionally, joints can be strengthened with biscuit dowels. Biscuits are available from Trend, and cutters are available separately or in kitchen cutter packs. Be sure to coat the cut edges with a water-resistant adhesive or sealant before assembly to prevent moisture entering the joints. To connect the male and female sides, bolt connectors are available from Trend. Trend bolt connectors connect the male and female sides. There are 2 different types. The Trend Easy Bolt holds the bolt in place while tightening, while the Trend Zip Bolt is faster and has gearing to achieve higher levels of torque. The Trend kitchen worktop jigs are also great for finishing the ends of a worktop. Draw a line on the worktop which is 8.5 mm from each edge. Align the required end cut and clamp the jig in place. Always start from the post-formed edge and take multiple passes to avoid any breakout. The same process is required for 45-degree cuts, 40mm or 100mm radius cuts, and curved peninsular cuts. Great for breakfast bars. To cut circular hinge recesses, insert 2 pins along the edge of the jig. Push the jig up against the workpiece and position it 100mm from the top of the door. Clamp the jig in place and route in a clockwise direction at a depth of 10mm. This will create perfect hinges every time. This will create perfect hinges every time. This will create perfect hinges every time. The same technique is used to create 3/4 inch BSP tap holes. The Trend KWJ 700 kitchen worktop jig is perfect for kitchen fitters looking to save time and increase accuracy. All these Trend products and accessories can be purchased from Trend dealers throughout the UK or online. All these Trend products and accessories can be purchased from Trend dealers throughout the UK or online. See the Trend website for details. The Trend KWJ 700 works with all standard kitchen worktop sizes up to 700mm with or without post-formed edges.